of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sports Zone.
Fly ball right center field. That's going to get down. That's going to be a game winner. Simmons wins the game in the 10th with a double. It's a 5-4 final. That's just another example of how the Braves have won on this homestand. At bat, in the field, and on the mound. Everyone has played their part. And today, a chance to sweep one of baseball's best. It's a matinee on getaway day. It's the Braves, and it's the Buccos, and it's coming up next. It's time for Braves baseball. Today from Turner Field, the Braves will try to swab the decks. The battling Buccos are in town. The Braves trying to win 3 in a row against the Pittsburgh Pirates before heading off on a Western road trip to L.A. and San Diego. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back with you. Super homestand for the Braves so far, partner. We talked in our Braves Live segment about how well the offense has been clicking along, but that's only part of the story. The Braves pitching on this homestand, especially the starters, has been outstanding.
Yeah, the bottom of the order is really beginning to come through, but let's talk about what the pitching's been doing on this 5-2 homestand. Chance to go 6-2. The ERA, 257, 228 batting average against. The thing that really jumps out at you, 3 walks, 35 strikeouts. That's amazing. So even when at times when the Braves have fallen behind early in a ball game, they haven't been walking a bunch of guys that create more problems and make it harder to catch up. The only non-quality start in this homestand was when Chris Medlin got hit with a line drive and had to come out. Today it's Julio Teheran's turn. He's on the mound. He's been pitching great baseball and coming off a start here at home during the homestand where he worked into the 7th inning, career high in strikeouts with 9, only 1 walk for him in that start. He's really coming into his own, Chip. It's fun to watch him, see what he's been able to learn already this year in his first handful of starts. And today he goes against the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team he's pitched against a little bit, but look what the improvement shows over his last several starts. 2.49 ERA, drastic improvement over the 7.5 ERA earlier this season. The guy's maturing. He's getting some confidence. Not a whole lot unlike Mike Minor.
And let's hope the Braves have confidence against Wandy Rodriguez, a real tough customer, a southpaw who held the Braves to just 2 hits up at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Long ball's a big part of the Braves offense. Yes, we've seen some strikeouts too. But when we come back, Tom Hart will talk about an underreported part of this Braves attack when we come back after this.
Wrap up a 3-game set, and Atlanta goes for the series sweep. Tom Hart back at the ballpark. You certainly know about the Braves' power stats, second in Major League in home runs, and everybody knows that strikeouts have been an issue over the course of the season. But did you know there's another issue that is at play for this Braves ball club, and it has a direct correlation in wins? Here's a look at our Ram Truck power stats. Yeah, the Braves, when they draw 5 walks or more, are 17-4 on this season. In the same situations, the strikeouts are staying just about the same, but the home runs go up. And take a look at last night. The Braves drew 5 walks against the Pittsburgh bullpen. Dan Uggla led off the 10th with the walk. He would come around to score the game-winning run. So when you hear folks at the barbershop talk about strikeouts killing this team or home runs helping them, tell them there's one more factor at play. The Braves getting those free passes, stressing opponents' pitching staffs, especially their bullpens, and taking advantage as did last night. See if that's an issue against Wandy Rodriguez and the Pirates today, if they can earn some free walks and drive up that pitch count for one of the very good pitchers in the National League. Braves try for this series sweep. Chip and Joe will have the play-by-play right after this.
By AT Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Ford. Cloudy skies in Atlanta for our business fans special today. We wrap up our season series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Chance for Atlanta to win all 3 of these ball games. Boy, a thriller last night. 5-4 in 10 innings. The Braves beat the Pirates 1-7-2 to get the series started, with Chris Medlin earning his second victory. The starting pitching for the Braves has been outstanding on the homestand. A lot of clutch hitting for this Atlanta team, and now it's Julio Teheran's turn to face the Pittsburgh Pirates, who line up this way on their Toyota starting 9. Marte leads off in left, Travis Snider's in right, Andrew McCutchen is in center field. Garrett Jones gets the start at first base, Neil Walker hitting 5th. Pedro Alvarez hit a long homer here last night, and Russell Martin behind the plate, Clint Barmas at short, and Braves nemesis Wandy Rodriguez pitches.
And they'll go against Julio Teheran, who makes his 11th start of the year. Here are some keys that aren't on the Ford keys, but the key to success for Julio is getting ahead in the count. A .238 average against him when he's ahead. Behind in the count, more than 100 and almost 130 points higher when he has to work behind in the count, and that's because he can't effectively use his good off-speed stuff when he's pitching behind in the count. But his Ford keys to pitching success today: finisher. You know, when you're going for a sweep, you like to have a guy out there that you have some confidence in that can finish the deal. He gets a chance to do that today and show his team what he's made of. He's got a lot of lefties that he's got to take care of today, and left-handers hitting him at a 339 clip this year. Hopefully his changeup is effective against them.
And, Joe, this is a quality Pittsburgh ball club, a really good Pittsburgh team, trying to snap that run of 20 straight games or 20 straight seasons with a losing record. But the Braves are really catching them at a good time. The Pittsburgh club not scoring a lot of runs right now, and another different looking lineup for Clint Hurdle today.
During this little bad run they're on, they lost 2 out of 3 to Cincinnati at home, got shut out twice. They've come here and lost the first 2 games of this series. In this 5-game stretch where they've lost 4 games, they're only hitting 182, and their ERA, what they've counted on all year long, their ERA for their starters is almost 6. So a couple of things really going sideways for them right now.
Let's hope that continues in today's game. As you look at the Braves lineup defensively, Evan Gatis gets the start in left field. Gerald Laird's behind the plate. Standard infield alignment for the Braves with B.J. Upton in center and Jason Hayward swinging the bat well the last couple of days, getting the start in right field. Cloudy skies, wind blowing across the diamond toward the Pittsburgh bullpen. We'll see if that's a factor as the game continues. As you see Starling Marte digging in to get things started for Pittsburgh. He jumps the first pitch and pops it up. Andrelton Simmons drifts back, and Teheran has one out on 1 pitch. .78 degrees at first pitch, the official game time temp. And Travis Snyder is up for the Pirates. He's their right fielder today. We were talking right before we came on air about the last play of the game last night. As Teheran fires a quick strike. First ever walk-off hit for that man, Andrelton Simmons, anywhere, he said after the game. But when the ball left his bat and headed towards Snyder in right center, I didn't think that was going to be a game winner. That surprised you a little bit?
It did. I thought it was somewhat of a routine fly ball, but they were playing in to make sure that they had to play at the plate on a single, so they were playing in a little closer than normal. But that ball actually carried to the warning track.
How about that sequence? He got ahead, and he did indeed finish off Snyder. A 3-pitch strikeout for out number 2.
This is what he's got to have today, this changeup. And that was an off-speed breaking ball there. That was a beauty. The fact, those numbers we showed you about getting ahead in the count, that's what makes his off-speed stuff so effective to lefties if he's ahead.
Now an MVP candidate for Pittsburgh, Andrew McCutchen. 7 homers, 30 RBIs. Strike 1. McCutchen did not play in the first game of the series. That was a scheduled day off. Came back last night with 2 hits and 2 RBIs. And he and the rest of his Pirate teammates will have a rest tomorrow. They'll have an off day in Chicago before they start a series with the Cubs. 93 at the letters. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I really like Andrew McCutchen's setup. I mean, in his stance, it's very quiet. You rarely even see him take a practice swing. He just rests the bat on his shoulder, and then as the pitcher's getting ready to throw, it comes off his shoulder, and he gets ready to load up on a swing. Very quiet.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Last year, another big year for McCutchen, arguably his best. .327 average, had 194 hits. That led the league. 31 homers, 96 knocked in, stole 20 bases. Made only 1 error.
Yeah, Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger Award winner. You voted for him for MVP. Nobody'd argue with that.
Back our way, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He was the 11th overall pick by Pittsburgh in the 2005 draft. Don't have the 05 draft list in front of me, but I'm sure there are 10 teams that are wondering, be nice to do that one over with the big numbers McCutcheon's put up.
Anybody would like to have him.
Breaking ball hammered down the line, and that's pulled foul. Still 2-2.
Mike Minor last night, the only real mistakes he made were a couple of breaking balls that stayed up in the zone and got hit pretty hard, and that was a breaking ball from Teheran that stayed up. Mike got a no decision. 6 innings, no walks, 6 strikeouts.
He went around, and an impressive start for Julio Teheran. A couple of strikeouts. Wandy Rodriguez to the hill for Pittsburgh. Wrap up the series. 3 up, 3 down for Julio Teheran. Impressive first inning start. Now let's see if the Braves bats can get something working against left-hander Wandy Rodriguez. Andrelton Simmons leads off the Toyota starting 9 with a 10-game hit streak. Hayward, Chris Johnson, Freddie Freeman. Evan Gatis in left field. Justin Upton gets the day off. Then it's Laird behind the plate. Ugla, Upton, and Teheran 7, 8, and 9.
Magic Wandy Rodriguez, 34 years old, 5'10", 195 out of the Dominican Republic. His career against the Braves got off to a slow start, an 8.44 ERA, a bunch of homers. But check out the last 9, a 1.58 ERA. That includes 7 innings, a 1-hit shutout ball against the Braves on April 19th in Pittsburgh, and he beat Atlanta 6-0. 5-1 on the year, 2.25 ERA.
Starts off Simmons with a called strike.
His Ford Keys inside work. He's got a good fastball, low 90s, but his curve and his change are his best pitches, and he's got to establish inside first and get ahead in the count. Important to him too for a different reason. Obviously it works better for a pitcher when he's ahead in the count, but Atlanta's been so good, Chip, at working counts and running up pitch counts on pitchers that if he does get ahead in the count, he might force the issue and get some early outs in the count.
And Andrelton off stride. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wandy's 34 now. Working with Houston in 2005. Was a 10-game winner for the Astros that year. In fact, won double digits for the Astros 4 separate times before being traded last year to the Pirates. That was a week before the deadline.
He's won 90 games in the big leagues.
Fly foul. It's still 2-2. The Pirates the last couple years have had big first halves and even bigger second half collapses. Their front office, though, has been very aggressive at the deadline, adding pieces to this ball club, and Rodriguez was part of that. Although it took him a while to gain some traction with the Pittsburgh ball club. Lost his final 3 decisions with Houston, lost 3 in a row with the Pirates before having a big month of September.
And here we are with another full count.
And a little squiver right side. That might be trouble. It's a foot race to the bag, and Simmons wins it. He's going to have to scramble back to first, and is in safely with an infield hit.
He made enough of a move after he crossed the bag that if he didn't hustle back, they could have tagged him out. But that was perfectly cued off the end of his bat. That's about all Jones could do here was just a backhand toss, but I'm not sure they would have gotten him anyway. Now watch right here. He made a little bit of a move like he was going to turn. Unfortunately got back in time after getting clotheslined there.
So our first of what will probably be 30 meetings by the Pirates battery.
Whew. You're right.
Simmons now an 11-game hit streak. He'll measure off a lead from first, and Jason Hayward is the hitter.
The Braves have already equaled their hit total off Wandy from Pittsburgh.
We faced the minimum through 8. The Pirates faced the minimum for the game in total on April 19th. And Hayward, a line drive into center on the first pitch. Simmons around second. He's going to go for third. He's going to make it without a play.
That's a good start. And Jason Hayward having a good series. He's now 5 for 10 with a homer and may have broken another bat, but happy to do it for a base hit. Chance for the Braves to get on top early against a tough customer. Braves are 24-3 when they score first.
A little contact here could give Julio Teheran a first inning run. Chris Johnson has worn out lefties all year. First and third, nobody out. Strike one.
Started him with a changeup, then it came back with an even slower curveball. Bundy looks like he's having a little trouble getting going here this morning. Good pitch there, but boy, just a slow walk. Get the throw back from Martin. Slow walk up the mound.
Little roller out towards second. That's going to get a run home. And that's all Pittsburgh can get. The forced second takes care of Hayward. Johnson's 16th RBI. The Braves make contact and lead 1-0.
Behind the count, just wanted to make contact like we've talked about a lot, Chip. In these situations, these RBI situations, it wasn't a strike. In fact, it might have been a backup breaking ball a little bit. But again, it works. Nice work there by Chris to get his RBI.
Well, after Andrelton Simmons, the next hottest hitter on the club might be the man in the box. That's Freddie Freeman. Simmons has the impressive hitting streak, but Freddie Freeman has the impressive power numbers of late. fouled away for an even count. More than an RBI in his last 19 games, more than one on average.
It's been outstanding.
And he got hit. That one chased him in the left-hand batter's box. The Braves have 2 on with 1 out.
Well, again, Wandy Rodriguez pitching inside. Needed to pitch inside, and there was something more than just being slow going up and down the mound. Now the trainer's out.
Uh-oh. You see a pitcher pointing to the elbow. That is not a good sign. Now, good point. As Wandy Rodriguez makes his way to the Pittsburgh dugout, thought for a moment it was the bare hand or the pitching hand of Rodriguez on that play at first with Simmons, but it was his glove hand, so that's not the case.
Yeah, and we saw Brendan Morrow have to come out of a game for Toronto the other day with a tight forearm, and he's looking like he's kind of acting like the same thing happened to him.
So the absolute worst thing that Clint Hurdle could envision for his Pirates is to have another starter get knocked out of the game early. Remember, their pensman had to pick up 10 innings against the Reds the other day, and they've been worked over an awful lot in this series in Atlanta, including the extra inning game last night. 1-0 Braves over the Pirates, and Wandy an early exit.
By the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota.
Braves up 1-0. They have 2 on with 1 out in the first inning, an inning that saw Pirates starter Wandy Rodriguez leave with injury. And friends, just in time for Father's Day, the Braves clubhouse store at CNN Center is offering a custom half-dozen set of golf balls free with every $100 purchase. That's while supplies last. For more information, stop by the Braves clubhouse store at CNN Center or call 404-523-5854. That's Brian Morris, a former #1 pick of the Dodgers. And now pitching out of the Pirates bullpen.
Out of Tullahoma, Tennessee. Played some junior college at Tennessee before he was drafted by the Dodgers. Went to Pittsburgh in that big deal that sent Jason Bay to Boston and Manny Ramirez from Boston to the Dodgers. The Pirates got several minor league AAA players. Andy LaRoche was one of them, Craig Hansen, Brandon Moss, and Brian Morris, who's now 26 years old.
One reason why he was such a highly thought of prospect in 2006, Baseball America said that Brian Morris had the best fastball along with Clayton Kershaw in the Dodgers 2006 draft class. So we'll see if that's the case as he gets sent to face Evan Gatis, who's getting the start in left field today for the Braves. And for more on Evan Gatis, let's check in for the first time with Tom Hart. Tom?
All right, Chip, thank you. Evan in left field today, as you mentioned, it's been since Saturday since he started behind the plate. And because he had a few days off, he felt like he needed to get some work in. So yesterday, for the first time this season, he got that defensive work in with manager Freddie Gonzalez. He worked on his throwing to the bases. He told me today, if I have a couple days off, I've got to stay sharp. So yesterday it was throwing, but I might grab a coach like Eddie Perez and get out there and work on blocking balls in the dirt. Well, now I don't have to worry about catching, just hitting as he faces Morris for the first time.
Thank you, Tom. Good report. And let's see what Evan has in store. Let's talk about the scouting report. Here's Gaddis getting ready for this game, thinking he's going to see Wandy Rodriguez in the first or second inning. That's out of the way.
Lefty righty. Now all of a sudden a different guy, and one that the Braves have not seen. Morris first little few games last year, but the Braves didn't see him for Pittsburgh. A lot of sliders. Fastball, real good fastball, as you said, mid-90s, but throws a lot of sliders to complement it.
And there was the slider, I think, at 89. 1 ball, no strikes for Evan Gaddis. Evan, 12 homers, 32 knocked in, a .269 mark. Bounce to the mound. Nice play by Morris. And the Pirates get a double play. Atlanta scores a run on a ground ball out from Chris Johnson. It's 1-0 after 1 inning.
Here with his son Michael at the ball game today. Great day to be at the ballpark.
What are we going to do about the weather forecasting?
I have no idea. I mean, it's kind of overcast.
Yep.
Anything could happen, and we don't have Flip Feinberg here to help us. Oh, we got that guy. Maybe he's just reading the forecast.
What a nice turnout on this cloudy afternoon. As Dad used to say.
Well, honesty compels me to tell you that there is a chance of rain later on today.
Or that a lot of businessmen here with their daughters today.
Well, a lot of businessmen brought their daughters to the ballpark today.
A lot of campers here today.
Yeah.
All color coordinated.
And I sure hope the little pirate girl in the 19-inning game hasn't dyed her hair, because she looked to be about the same age. So Julio Teheran gets a first-inning run. He's got Garrett Jones to lead off the second. What was the Braves' record when they scored first?
24-3. I believe that's correct. I do know that they're 36-0 when they score more than the opponent.
Fantastic. So you're saying there's a chance, as Jones is behind 0-2. Keep an eye on first pitch strikes for Julio today. He starts Jones that way.
Well, he sure threw a good fastball to McCutchen to get him to end the first.
Pop fly foul over the Pirates on deck circle and into the seats. The count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's got Gerald Laird back there again today. Kind of his warm and fuzzy blanket. He needs it.
I'm sure Gerald's going to be really happy to hear that description. Swing and a miss. There's the changeup. Jones swung through it. 3 straight strikeouts for Julio, who's really grown up, as you said, over the month of May. But it's true. The job Gerald Laird's done can't be underestimated.
No, and obviously he's got to be able to throw his changeup in any count to be successful here. But when he's ahead in the count, it is outstanding, especially to these lefties who want to really crank up on him a little bit. As much power as a guy like Jones has. Wonderful out pitch. Personally, I like it better than his breaking ball.
Can't beat 5 for 5 in strike 1, can you?
Nope.
Neil Walker's the Pittsburgh second baseman. Be a good test for Teheran, because Walker's really hit Braves pitching hard.
And he's hit well in this ballpark.
No balls, 2 strikes. To right, and Jason gets there. 2 outs.
If sun breaks through, it's going to be a very tough sky for the outfielders, because the glare with the gray skies would be spread out over the whole sky. It'd be hard to pick the ball up and stay with it. They'd prefer it just to stay completely cloudy.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. Another strike on the first pitch. He's 6 for 6. He is going right after these Pirates.
Yeah, and that was a nice, really slow curveball. It's a fastball up, see if he'll chase.
Back our way, 0-2. have to respect Alvarez's power. He showed that off last night. A solo home run off Mike Minor in the fourth inning.
The ball really jumped, didn't it?
Swing and a miss. 6 up, 6 down for Teheran with 4 strikeouts. And he leads 1-0. In relief of Wandy Rodriguez, who left with an injury. And after our ball game, we'll hop on our Delta charter. We're off to Los Angeles to start a 4-game series with the Dodgers. Delta Airlines is always a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves.
How about that kid Puig? Is that how you say his name for the Dodgers? Man, is he broken in with a hot bat. 5 hits, 2 homers last night. Signed him off the Cuban national team when he defected.
Yeah, he's batting leadoff for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, Carl Crawford went on the disabled list with a hamstring. They've got lots of hamstring issues out there, including Crawford and Kemp.
Dodgers, an injury-riddled ball club. However, they've won 9 of their last 12 at Dodger Stadium.
And they did get Hanley Ramirez back last night.
Worry about the Dodgers tomorrow. First things first, let's sweep the Bucks. Here's Gerald Laird. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
You're talking about the ratings that this kid had after he signed with the Dodgers. He did have to undergo Tommy John surgery in his first full year in professional ball. I'd say he's bounced back nicely.
Oh, tricky hop. Walker stayed with it. Laird's retired, 1 down. Bases are empty for Dan Uggla. Dan scored the game-winning run last night. A leadoff walk in the 10th. After a strikeout, a hit batsman, Simmons doubled him home as Uggla scored his 2nd run of the night. 1 ball, no strikes.
2 at bats before that in the 6th inning. He singled with 2 outs just ahead of BJ's homer.
That's at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Guys who've been scuffling the most have taken turns getting hot. BJ, then Hayward. Last night it was Uggla's turn. I'm not sure whose turn it is today. What do you think?
How about all 8?
Okay.
That's called strike 1-2. Well, we were talking at the start of this homestand about the Braves real rough travel schedule and all the road games that had piled up, Atlanta could use some home cooking. They've taken advantage. They've had a good homestand. This is only the 28th home game played by the Braves so far this year, and they've won 20 of the first 27 of them here at Turner Field.
Yeah, very impressive. That ball in the dirt didn't sound like it hit any equipment, just skin on Russell Martin, so I know it hurt.
That's over the inside corner.
This is slider. Typically, right-hander will throw the slider away from a right-handed hitter. He threw that one more or less at him and caught the inside corner, it looked like.
Are these still kind of scouting report at bats for the Braves offense?
They've got to be. I mean, without having seen the ball come out of the guy's hand before, you don't know how hard he throws, how much his slider breaks, where he likes to throw it. You have to rely on video for that, and that helps to a certain extent, but not enough until you get in there.
B.J. Upton's had some productive and damaging at-bats on this homestand. And he looks low, ball two.
What you said after the injury to Rodriguez is so accurate, Chip, about their bullpen's already been strapped. They've had 3 extra inning games this week, and now for their starter to come out in the first for the second time this week.
Just before the game on Monday, they called up Jared Hughes and Ryan Reed because John Mark Gomez is the guy with the forearm problem. He got hurt. Tests say everything's fine with Gomez. They're hoping he'll be able to make a start in the next couple of days. They sent Alex Presley out because they were desperate for some fresh arms, and they've had to use all those arms. There's 3 pitchers in A.J. Burnett's start. That covered 4 innings. Used 4 last night. That covered 4 1/3 innings for Pittsburgh, and now we've got to cover at least 7. Didn't take slow, full count.
One other factor for Clint Hurdle today is that they have a scheduled off day tomorrow.
Yeah.
They travel to Chicago tonight, take on the Cubs over the weekend, but they have a day off Thursday. That will help.
That was fouled off Russell Martin. And you mentioned B.J. Upton's homer. Here it is.
Off Ryan Reed, fastball down and in, and he golfed it out of here.
So the Chipper Jones record is still intact. Remember, he said last night Braves haven't lost a game he attended. And he was in the booth when Upton tied the game at 4. BJ is aboard with a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Julio Teheran. First walk for Morris. Julio's had a good year at the plate.
Yeah, he's hit 250, 5 for 20, has a double, a couple of sacrifice bunts, 1 walk to go at the 7 strikeouts. And his favorite spot, right field, has a big hole over on that side.
One ball, no strikes. That's bounced off the plate. Alvarez, bare hand, long throw. Teheran is called out. Wow. Garrett Jones just stolen out. I think his foot was off the bag. Not much of an argument from the Braves bench, but the bang bang play goes Pittsburgh's way.
Bang, bang. We'll look again when we come back.
Julio Teheran a perfect 6 for 6 with first pitch strikes today. We'll see if that continues. As all season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. That was one of your keys. Get ahead. He has.
He was trying to get ahead of this throw, too. Good play by Alvarez on the high chopper, but well, if it's that close and we're still trying to look, it's kind of hard to argue. I thought he beat it. But a really close play, and Terry Pendleton didn't argue, so that's good enough for me.
How about Teheran's start? He's faced 6 Pirates. He struck out 4 of them.
And he has thrown strike 1 to all 6 batters he's faced. Good off-speed breaking ball here to get Snyder to start the ball game. Good fastball right here in on the hands of McCutchen. Another good heater to Jones. Here's that breaking ball again. Kind of a hard slider that was a beauty.
The catcher Russell Martin starts things off for Pittsburgh.
So Martin 0 for his last 10 after this swing. Might have cramped up a little bit.
One ball, 2 strikes to the Canadian native Russell Martin. Russell was going to go to NC State before the Dodgers drafted him. His dad, an accomplished saxophone player. And Russell, the given name, Russell Nathan Johnson Coltrane Martin Jr. That's outside, a full count, 3-2. popped him up. Hamilton puts the squeeze on that. 7 up, 7 down for Teheran. Here's Barmes. Times were tough at the plate for Clint before this series started. He was in a 3 for 28 stretch. He's 3 for his last 9. Eight for 8 is Julio with strike 1.
Vincennes, Indiana. You ever been to Vincennes, Indiana?
I'm not.
I don't even know where it is. What part of the state?
Find out for you.
Oh, it's the home of Bob McAdoo.
The internet tells us that Vincennes is located on the Wabash River in the southwestern part of the state.
Southwest?
Southwest.
Okay. It's right along where the Wabash Cannonball came through.
Pretty good chance. Swing and a miss. Barmes is down. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 2/3.
He's got a lot of life on his fastball, too. 94 on that one. Came out of the chute throwing 94 today. Gerald Laird has asked him to elevate his fastball a little bit at times. And there was a good high fastball that worked. Struck out 9, a career high 9 in his last start in that loss to Washington. He got a good taste of that, liked it.
And he's ahead of Brian Morris. No balls, 2 strikes.
The junior college he went to was Motlow State Community College in Tennessee.
And Teheran has 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. 1-0 Atlanta.
That was the game winner last night. Andrelton Simmons said it was his first ever that he could remember. Freddie Freeman comes into the picture there. Freddie's got a look on his face like, I'm going to do some damage here. Look at him. Took him to the ground.
I mean, you talk about a sneak attack. I mean, Freddie's the guy that's always hugging everybody.
Yeah, I know. And it's like BJ said the other day, man, we got some crazy dudes on this team.
A great feeling for Andrelton to package that one away for the Braves in the win column last night.
They had to go so far out to get him because it was a double. He was standing at second base. But what cracked me up was Tim Hudson getting to the cut of the grass and saying, oh, y'all got it. I'll take care of it. I'm good.
Yes. A veteran move for Tim Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
So the second time through the order for the Braves offense now. And a strike to Andrelton Simmons. Most innings Morris has pitched in the big leagues with the Pirates is 3. That game Sunday. They'd love more than that today if they can get it. That's rolled foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
From a stat standpoint, this isn't his third inning of work, but he came in the first, so essentially it is his third inning of work. Tightness in the forearm, the report on Rodriguez, as we suspected. Hopefully for the Pirates' sake, it's nothing worse than that.
They've been battling that all year long. Their pitching staff, Ray Searage, their pitching coach, got a terrific bullpen. We got reinforcements coming. Charlie Morton is looming in the minor leagues. Fly ball toward right. Snyder nearing the line. He's going to have room. And Simmons is the first out.
And the frustrating part of it for a manager like Clint Hurdle, who has been really working hard to get the attitude changed, the confidence back for this organization, is to feel like, okay, we got Francisco Liriano back from the DL, and he's pitched really well, a 2.17 ERA in 5 starts. You're about to get Charlie Morton back, and then to have this punch you in the nose with Wandy Rodriguez, it's extremely frustrating when you're just about to get everybody healthy again.
McDonald also rehabbing in the minor leagues. And keep an eye on Charlie Morton when he comes back. The Pirates are taking away Charlie Morton's cut fastball. They don't want him throwing it anymore. Hayward grounds towards second. Walker with a backhand stab. And that's the second out. Base is empty. 2 outs for Chris Johnson. He knocked in the game's only run. A ground ball out. Pittsburgh's 3.5 behind the Cardinals. The Cardinals were beaten by Arizona last night in 14 innings. That madman Paul Goldschmidt did it again.
He's having a good year, isn't he?
He is. He had the game-winning RBI last night. So Pittsburgh happy about that.
That looked like the previous starters in this series for the Pirates. Burnett and Locke talking it over. Locke unable to get out of the 6th inning last night, but he did strike out 7.
This will be the last time we see the Pirates until potentially postseason play. Your 2013 impressions compared to last year, Pittsburgh's club.
They're playing with a little more confidence. I think they are really beginning to believe that they probably should have gotten to the postseason last year. and fully intend to do it this year. Injuries will play a big part for them, but their pitching's certainly good enough now to do just that. Their bullpen's been good to this point. Grilli has been outstanding closing games. They're better.
And they'll have to be the way the Cardinals and Reds are playing in the Central. As Chris rolls toward short, and that got under the glove of Barmes.
That ball did something tricky. He went to his right because the ball to get in front of it, and then the ball kind of moved to his left, and he didn't have time to get in front of it then. See, he set up, and then it kind of had a squirrely spin on it or something, and shot to his left, and the best he could do is olay it.
So an error on the shortstop puts Johnson at first. Then it brings up Freddie Freeman, who loves to hit with 2 outs.
That was a near balk. Almost had a little trouble picking up his front foot.
Strike 1 to Freddie Freeman.
Back-to-back off-speed breaking balls.
When you're picked as the #1 pick by the Dodgers and their great history of pitching, you must have an awful lot of talent. And you mentioned the injuries sidetracked Morris. He's looked awfully good in this game.
He's got a live arm. It's interesting, though, with an 0-2 count, the Pirates put on a big shift for Freddie. You'd think 0-2 he might try to go the other way and protect the plate, but they've opened up the whole left side for him.
And Freeman was late. The inning ends for Atlanta. 4th inning, 1-0 Braves lead it.
Ball is brought to you in part by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by AT&T.
Julio Teheran has needed but one run. He has been overpowering in his first 3 innings so far today.
Oh, my goodness. Is that the first Oso Blanco hat?
Numero uno.
Wow.
Del Año.
Love it. Would have been real nice to have in April.
On the Iditarod,
yes.
right? If that kid wears it all day, he's going to weigh 26 pounds.
Yeah.
On this hot, humid afternoon.
Very nice.
Second time through the order now for Teheran. And he's got Starling Marte in the batter's box. And another first pitch strike.
Did he go 9 for 9 first pitch strikes? He did indeed, says Laser Baker.
And at this point, Joe, he's got every pitch working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he made one mistake, I think, to McCutchen on a breaking ball that was pulled foul. Everything else has been very crisp.
High fly ball left. Gatis comes in and gets there. Marte flies out softly. He's 0 for 2. Well, you showed the graphic earlier and the numbers between lefties and righties versus Julio Teheran. Maybe a sign of the way things were going to go today was the sequence with Travis Snyder. He struck him out on 3 pitches.
Yeah, it was great. Got him with an off-speed breaking ball that was down.
To center. That'll hang up for BJ.
One of the problems for Julio early in the season, you might remember, Chip, was that the first few innings, it seemed like it took him a while to get on track. His ERA so far this year, very high in the first 3 innings, and then it just gets progressively better. And he's already through the first 3 2/3 today.
Here's McCutchen. He checked his swing but was struck out. And the Pirates first. Talked about his spot in the draft for Pittsburgh and wondered if there were some head scratchers before the Pirates took Andrew. There really weren't that many. Justin Upton was the #1 overall draft pick in 2005. Other notable big leaguers in that draft: Alex Gordon, Ryan Zimmerman, Ryan Braun, Troy Tulowitzki, Mike Pelfrey, all selected before Andrew McCutchen.
That's a pretty solid draft.
Yeah. Matt Garza, Jacoby Ellsbury were also picked in the latter stages of that 2005 draft. Do you remember who the Braves took?
I do not.
Joey Devine out of NC State.
I think he might have been the first one to get to the big leagues.
He was. Draft. Yeah. Remember how the Braves were struggling in the bullpen late?
A lot of the Braves scouts are in town right now. Cross checkers, area supervisors, as the draft is tomorrow. They want to have all their ducks in a row about who they want to take in this year's draft. Had a chat with Brian Bridges earlier today. He was in town for that. Fox tracks, perfect pitch. That's tough not to get that against a tough hitter.
Especially when you've set down 11 straight. And there goes the perfecto. McCutchen was apparently struck out. Teheran didn't get the call, and then Andrew walks. So Julio to the stretch for the first time today.
I loved a quote from a scout. I think it might have been in the story about the young men here in Georgia that are expected to go in the first 4 or 5 picks from over in Loganville. An anonymous scout said something about if you're not scouting Georgia, then it's almost verges on malpractice because of all the talent in the state.
Maybe when the history's written, all those great Braves teams that all of Atlanta got to see from 1991 onward had a lot to do with expanding the role of Little League Baseball. Not just throughout Georgia, but throughout the Southeast. Close play at first. McCutcheon back safely.
I think it had a huge impact on the Atlanta metro area, but especially in the state of Georgia. I can't speak to the whole region, but remember how the Little League sign-up days were backed up for hours of people signing up? And from 91 on,
one ball, no strikes. I know we've talked about it before, but the anticipation for young players waiting to be drafted. Well, the technology's changed a bit since your day, huh? Fans may not remember that story. How long did it take you to find out you were drafted?
in high school it was 2 weeks. I didn't know for 2 weeks. I asked the scout why, and he goes, well, we've been busy.
That's what he said.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, no kidding.
It's like they had the other guys that they had to get to sign the higher draft picks, and he asked me, first thing he said, well, what'd you think of the draft? And I said, I didn't think much of it. I thought I might get drafted. He goes, well, we took you. I said, you did? And he said, yeah. And I said, where have you been? Well, we've been busy.
Well, that'd make you feel good, huh?
Yeah. The Washington Senators.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Garrett Jones.
Almost got him airborne right there. McCutcheon goes back. He's not real low. He's kind of in the air and flops back.
Another half step up on that lead. Pop fly. That's going to slice into the seats, foul. Where do the Braves pick this year?
They have a supplemental pick down at the end of the first round as compensation for Michael Bourne signing with the Cleveland Indians. Now, he was a type A free agent, which means you would get Cleveland's spot in the draft, as it was explained to me today, except that Cleveland is in the top 10 in picks in the first 10, and that draft pick is protected.
Swing and a miss. Teheran thought he struck out McCutcheon, but he did strike out Garrett Jones. He has 7 of those and a 1-0 lead. To lead things off, he's part of our Georgia Lottery, hitting the jackpot.
And again, the May Rookie of the Month. Leads all rookies in homers, RBIs, and slugging. Best homer per at bat average in the National League. And he's just been outstanding at the end of ball games. A spot he said he really enjoys hitting in.
So vote for him, write him in.
Yeah, let's go.
We showed the All-Star balloting last night. Justin Upton is among the leaders in the outfield. There are a lot of other very deserving Braves who haven't gotten a whole lot of run for voting support. As Gatis rolls to second on a check swing, that's out number one. As of last night's balloting, Freddie Freeman, for example, was fifth among first basemen. That's impossible.
Well, again, the next vote, I'm hoping that these good crowds the Braves have had during this homestand will make a difference on the next tally, where he'll get a bump.
And I think you can vote online as well at either Braves.com or MLB.com.
I don't know who the last person was that was a write-in All-Star selection, but it seems to me, if my memory's correct, that Steve Garvey got voted in once years ago.
Well, the way the society is now, people don't write anymore. They text or they tweet or use emails. They do have the fan vote. There's always a last roster spot reserved exclusively for the fans to vote on. That's another route for Gatis, perhaps.
So are there no more ballots?
Oh, there are. Don't
okay.
misunderstand. I'm saying there's more than just writing in like they had to do in your day. Back in the Pony Express days.
With a feather.
Took 2 weeks.
A plume.
Took 2 weeks to get notified of being drafted and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, things move slowly in Washington, as we know. Not surprisingly, the Senators took a couple of weeks for it.
There you go. And Scott got mad at me because I didn't sign.
There takes a strike.
Baker says because they had all that time invested in me.
Laird is aboard with a one-out walk. Second walk issued by Morris.
Next pitch will be his 40th, so keep an eye on him and see if he's able to maintain.
Well, no matter the outcome, right now he's their MVP. I mean, he's pitching well, giving their offense a chance to get something mounted against Teheran after Wandy Rodriguez was forced from the game after seeing 4 hitters with tightness in his pitching forearm. The Braves now have gone through the lineup once against Morris.
That'll help.
Scouting at bats. Figured
that'll help, and whatever they shared with one another in the dugout about him will play into each at bat.
That one gets away from Martin. He can't find it. That's going to bounce over by the on-deck circle. Laird's going to try for 3, and he's going to get there. A 2-base wild pitch.
Look at old Gerald pick him up and lay him down. Right up off his arm, over to the on-deck circle. Funny spin, pushes it over by the camera well. Garrett Jones had to retrieve it. BJ almost got hit in the back of the head with the throw. Oh, Gerald was running.
Now the infield in for the Pirates. Ugla, a 2-0 pitch. I can't remember the last time I saw a 2-base wild pitch. Can you?
No. It's good heads-up base running by the catcher. That's where you want Dan to be a hitter. Be a hitter. Don't think slugger. Be a hitter. Hit it hard somewhere. They got the infield drawn in. Fly ball gets a run in.
Ground ball up the middle, but Walker cuts it off on the grass. Smart move by Morris. He reached out with a bare hand and wisely pulled it back as Walker was there for out number 2. Dan had the right idea. Hit the ball up the middle, but not sharply enough to get it through.
Well, it was a pretty good pitch, too. Looked like he hit it off the end of the bat. They're probably going to put Upton on, I would guess.
Yep. Second time in the game, BJ has been passed. This time it's intentionally, and the Braves will have runners at first and third, 2 outs. Big road trip coming up for Atlanta. The Dodgers and Padres on the road. Then we come home for the Giants. And then a big 5-game series with the Mets. Don't forget that June 18th date will be a day-night doubleheader to make up a rainout that we had with the Mets here in early May. So after this ball game, 3 straight Western Division opponents will face the Braves. And when we come home, you'll have a chance to save 40% off Field View seats when the Giants are here. Friday, June 14th through Sunday the 16th. That's today's Steal of the Week. The offer's available today only. It's good for all 3 games of the series. We hope you'll take advantage of those big savings at Braves.com/steal right now. Giants are very good at home. They struggle mightily on the road. Braves owe them some payback too. Ball 1 to Teheran.
Hughes loosening up. This will be pitch number 50 for Morris.
Upton's running. Teheran, a bouncing ball back to the mound. Funny spin. And Morris makes another good play. A career high in innings pitched for Mr. Morris. 1-0 Atlanta.
Is back in left field as you continue to write him in for the Major League All-Star Game. Consider some of the national publicity he's getting. And in this week's Sports Illustrated and available at SINow.com, you can see a picture from Braves photographer Puya Dianat. Now, guys, here's the backstory on when this picture was taken. A couple of weeks ago when the Braves were home against the Mets on a Sunday, Evan was asked to come in early to take part in this photo shoot. That was fine, but it wasn't clear with the security guard who opened the package and found this bear costume sitting at the top of the box. He was scared just a little bit. Evan dressed up, got the photo taken before his teammates could see him, and now it's on SI.com. By the way, this polar bear devours cotton candy. Gatis prefers fastballs.
I'm a little torn between the two myself at this stage. That's a great photo.
Yeah. I'm sure our friends on Twitter with the Gatis Facts hashtag will say, no, Evan didn't shoot that bear. That bear took off its skin for the photo.
Mm-hmm.
But just an amazing story. It just continues to grow day after day after day for Evan Gatis, Rookie of the Month, the first 2 months in this 2013 season in the National League. In Sports Illustrated this week, playing for a first-place club and playing a prominent role as well. I mean, he's not the 24th or 25th guy.
If he were, he might already have been sent back to Gwinnett when the Braves needed to make some roster moves to their bullpen. That was not going to happen.
Neil Walker leads off fifth. Teheran threw strike one to 12 of the first 13.
Yeah, I think it was 11 straight. And then missed to 12 straight. Then Jones and now Walker. Ball one to those two guys.
And a fly ball into right. Hayward's coming in and gets there. Both he and B.J. Upton have had funny reactions at the catch in the game today. Upton caught one by his left shoulder. Hayward looked to struggle just a bit there.
Well, it may sound funny, but the lights are on, and it's quite possible that that ball got in the lights right above home plate. And again, there is a little bit of glare from the sun, even on this gray day.
High strike to Alvarez. 0-1. It's an interesting question going back to Gatis. You're writing him in or voting him in for an all-star berth. You write in catcher, outfielder, and he's also played first base. Maybe he could make it as one of the National League's utility players.
Wherever he's selected, it would be a good choice.
One ball, 2 strikes. I'm not a screenwriter, would never aspire to be, but if someone had a passion for baseball and an amazing story, the Evan Gatis movie would be incredible.
I think you probably could be a screenwriter, though, Chip.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yanked foul. That's headed for the campers.
It would probably start with, it was a dark, rainy night in that small hospital in Texas.
Right. Did he go? Yes, he did. Alvarez is struck out on a check swing. 8 strikeouts for Teheran.
Another high target, another high pitch. Couldn't stop his swing.
Russell Martin popped out. That came at the start of the third inning. 1 ball, no strikes. If you had a Gatis movie, who would you have play the leading role?
Probably Seth Galifianakis.
You know, Galifianakis spelled backwards. As Martin faces a 3-1 pitch. We'll have to ask Evan that.
Yeah.
Teheran walks Martin, second walk of the game. Frankly, it ought to be his first. Looked like he had McCutchen struck out in the 4th inning. So both walks have come with 2 outs. And Barmas, the batter, he was strikeout victim number 5 today. Laird out for a chat. Phillies are playing the Marlins this afternoon. Cole Hamels has the ball for the Phillies. You want an amazing stat here in the first week of June? Cole Hamels is 1-9 for the Phillies. They've won 1 game that he's started this year.
I didn't see that coming.
Nobody did.
They had a big win last night in extra innings, though. John Mayberry Jr. hit a home run to tie it, I think in the 8th or 9th inning, and then won it in the 10th with a homer.
The Phillies today are 29-30. As Barmas pops one up. Left side of the diamond, Chris Johnson's got that. Folks, Julio Teheran's pitching a special ball game. He leads 1-0 over the Pirates in Game 3 of the series. Take on the Dodgers beginning tomorrow night, a 4-game series in Los Angeles. Joe, the Braves are apparently going to miss Clayton Kershaw. They're going to miss Chris Capuano, but there's some real tough pitchers on that Dodgers starting staff.
They've been very disappointing with the record last in the National League West. gigantic payroll, but a lot of injuries that have really plagued this ball club, including those 6 guys at the bottom of your screen there. 3 pitchers, 3 position players, all on the DL. Crawford just added to that list with a bad hamstring.
But Yasiel Puig, just up from AA Chattanooga, is playing the outfield and leading off and has become the toast of the town in Los Angeles. So that series with the Dodgers, our Delta Airlines on deck feature. Big pat on the back for Ryan Morris. A career high 3 2/3 innings of scoreless, hitless relief for Wandy Rodriguez. And now Vin Mazzaro is on as well.
Well, is he off to a good start? 1.75 ERA. He worked 3 innings in that 10-inning game on Sunday after having worked an inning the night before against the Reds.
Strike 1 to Simmons. An infield hit for Andrelton and a ground ball by Chris Johnson has scored the game's only run. That came off Rodriguez. And a line drive into center field. Dancing Bobcat territory?
Yeah, real close. I'll tell you, the extra run or two to work with for Teheran would be nice too. A short slider there. He throws 93, 94 and stays mostly with a slider for a breaking ball. Good job by Morris in his 3+ innings of work.
Jason Hayward hits. Jason 1 for 2, 5 hits in his last 11 at bats. If you're the Pirates, you know how effective and how good their bullpen has been. But we were given a note before the game today. Their bullpen has worked about an inning more per game over the course of the season than the Braves bullpen has. So as you start heading, Joe, into the hotter days of spring and summer, is overuse at all a concern for Clint Hurdle's club in the bullpen?
Well, I don't know, because I don't get to see them every day to see how much guys are coming into work, but I do know that Freddie Gonzalez, I think unjustly gets wrapped sometimes for the use of his bullpen and how many times he has guys out there. And then you tell me that Pittsburgh has 50 more innings than the Braves do, then is there any criticism being leveled at Clint Hurdle for the same thing? I haven't heard any.
Yeah, imagine being in the manager's chair after a game and you're asked one of the 2 questions. Question 1 is, why did you use pitcher A or B or C for the 2nd or 3rd consecutive game? Then the manager doesn't use that pitcher. The reporter comes in and asks, why didn't you use pitcher A, B, or C when you had a chance to shut down an inning and win the game? It's a no-win scenario for any big league skipper. Hayward serves the ball toward left. That'll be handled cleanly by Marte. Jason's retired for out number 1. Well, you do obviously have to keep track of the pitcher's appearances. There was an old baseball sage who once told me that, hey, they signed on for 162, didn't they?
Uh-huh.
So the Pirates with the most bullpen innings in the National League, says Dave Baker, piling on more innings today after another injury to a starter.
Braves got hits from Simmons and Hayward to start the game in the 1st inning, then had not had a hit until Simmons singled leading off here in the 5th. Again, Morris with great work, 3 2/3 of hitless, scoreless baseball.
Backhanded stab by Martin behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
I said early in the season about Chris Johnson that when you go through the Braves lineup, he's the most likely guy, if you want to hit and run, to use, more so than any of the other sluggers in the lineup, because he's so good at going to right field and right center. See if that's in the offing here.
Alvarez at third gets a big hop. Perfect feed to second. And Johnson and the Braves are doubled up to end the Atlanta fifth. Pitcher spot due first for the Pirates as we head to the sixth. Still 1-0 Atlanta. Lines. Whoop 'em Gangnam Style or something?
I don't know. All I hear is a lot of. I know this. These kids, these campers are getting into it today. I love it. Love the song.
Look at them go.
It's played pretty much 24/7 at the Simpson house on a loop.
That explains a lot of things. As all season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Our score this afternoon, 1-0 Atlanta through 5. We're in LA tomorrow. Here's your Chevron upcoming starters for game 1 of the Dodgers series.
Boy, that's a good matchup, isn't it? Zach Greinke and Tim Hudson. Greinke back after being on the shelf with a broken collarbone in that collision with Carlos Quentin. And Tim Hudson coming off a good start his last time out. Got no decision.
And so far, no shenanigans out in L.A. with the Dodgers and Padres. Some whispers online a couple of days ago that someone said of Quentin that might expect some retribution for forcing Greinke out for a month with a broken collarbone. Don't know if baseball intervened and said no more. Mazzaro is down swinging. That is number 9 for Teheran. And why you may be asking, are the Pirates keeping the pitcher in a 1-run game? Well, don't want to go any deeper in the bullpen than they have to.
No, and I think if it was a bigger deficit, they might, knowing that they need to put together a bigger inning. But just down by 1, they can afford to let him hit.
Marte's hit the ball in the air twice and is 0 for 2. Another first pitch strike. Learning how to pitch the second time, third time through a major league lineup. I'm sure part of the growing process for Julio Teheran. We showed you his numbers earlier, how he fares in innings 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9. No drop off in stuff, no drop off in aggressiveness, and no drop off in the quality of 3 or 4 pitches today.
Yeah, as you said early on, he's had them all working. And all of it working off a very live fastball today. Shook off Laird there.
And Marte fought it off, 0-2. Teheran started the game 12 for 12 in first pitch strikes. He's 15 for 19 overall today. And a 130-point difference in batting averages. Teheran's favor when he gets ahead of a hitter. And Marte hit by that pitch on the hand. He gets hit a lot.
This is the pitch that Gerald wanted the pitch before. He wanted a fastball in. He gets it this time around, but it's too far in.
That's the third base runner of the day for the Pirates. They've been issued 2 walks and now a hit batsman. Only one man in the league has been hit more by a pitched ball than Starling Marte. That man is Shin Soo Choo of the Reds.
Fast runner aboard. Keep an eye on him.
15 steals and 22 tries from Marte. He's got a good lead. Here's what that hit by pitch sounded like.
It either hit the bat or it really did splat his hand pretty hard.
Popped up by Snyder. Shallow left. And Gatis is there. 2 outs. Marte back to first for McCutchen.
He's had to throw a lot of pitches to McCutchen today. Finally struck him out in the first inning on a good fastball. But walked him, I think it was a full count in the 4th. It was.
That was that perfect pitch that was called a ball.
Right. On the that was on the 2-2 count.
Oh, what a pickoff. Teheran with his quick feet takes care of Marte and picks him off first. He was frozen on a hot day. Middle of the 6th inning, 1-0 Atlanta. As you look at our Zaxby's indescribably good pickoff play. The Braves are up in the bottom of our 6th inning.
Yeah, get him a little breathing room.
And time for our Home Depot tools from the dugout as this inning starts with Freddie Freeman.
Now, isn't that interesting? 4th biggest differential in Major League Baseball. Needs base runners out there to be amped up and ready. Got that big shift on for him again early in the count this time.
Does that play with your head when you see different counts and different shifts in the span of one at bat?
I would think it would, simply because they don't do it that often for him. I think what it would do would make you wonder, well, then how are they going to pitch me? If they're going to play me to pull, are they going to pitch me in? Last time up, they didn't. They pitched him away.
And he had a late swing for a strikeout, and in this series he's hit a ball away down the third base line, you recall, that drove in a couple of runs.
And a home run that way.
And he takes this ball to left. It's high in the air. The wind's going to push that within a step or two of the track. And Freddie is out number 1. Here's Gatis. Evan bounced into a double play. Those were the first 2 outs recorded by Brian Morris in relief of Wandy Rodriguez. And then tried to check his swing in the 4th inning and bounced out to Neil Walker in 2nd. The other part of the Evan Gatis story that we've talked about, I think there's got to be a pretty good chance that he'll get an invitation for the home run derby, wouldn't you think?
I would expect that, yeah.
With those supercharged baseballs and the batting practice fastballs, even the big dimensions of Citi Field, this guy ought to be able to put on a terrific show for a national audience.
He's already said he would accept if invited. He said, I might have my dad come throw.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if he was kidding or not, but he said he'd probably like the trip.
Well, his first trip to New York this year was a whole lot better than the last time he was there. An amazing story. Mark Bowman at MLB.com wrote that Gatis was continuing his journey, trying to find his way through life. Ended up in New York, out of money, sleeping outside Kennedy Airport. Nothing to eat. Tourists were taking pity on him, would give him their spare change. As he launches this one. Oh, baby. There's some breathing room. 2-0. Home runs on an 0-2 count. And Laird feeling frisky, bunts foul for strike 1.
It's only the 2nd home run allowed by Mazzaro in 26 2/3 innings. Again, he came in with a 1.75 ERA, and he was ahead of Evan 0-2. Show you the swing in just a second.
But to finish the story on Gatis, finally got some change from a foreign tourist who had no use for the dollar bills and coins in his pocket. Gave them to Gatis. He got a bag full of cheeseburgers and dashed to his flight, where the flight attendant said, "You're late." And Evans' words to that flight attendant were, "You have no idea." As he made his way back to Dallas. Safe to say, as Laird sprays one foul, and the Braves go back to New York, either as a team or Evan on his First All-Star appearance. It'll be in grand style and well deserved here in 2013.
He's telling his teammates that it was a slider, but probably a backup slider. Case are judging by his motions to his teammates who ask him what it was. And the reason you haven't seen it yet is because we want to show you the hole at bat, which I thought was very interesting in that he was really trying to make sure that he didn't give up on the slider from Mazzaro, and in the process was really fighting off some tough fastballs.
So does that mean he was looking for that slider in the at bat and was willing to fight and sacrifice to get that pitch and hope it's a mistake to hit it hard?
He was guarding against the outer third. He just didn't want that slider away to get him out. So he's thinking about the slider away and fighting off fastballs, and then got a hanging slider where he's already over the plate, and all he had to do was turn on it, and boy did he ever. Looked like it made it into the terrace level.
Laird fouls away the 8th pitch of this at bat.
Now Laird drives one to left. Marte going back, and the fans can't get that.
Gerald Laird's first as a Brave, the 9th pitch of the at bat.
Yeah, now we're getting backed up.
And now maybe a chance to admire the home runs by the Braves, Gatis and Laird.
All right, meeting on the mound. Now we can show you this. This is a pitch by pitch for Evan Gatis on his at bat. Slider, fouled it off. Now he's behind 0-2. And he's just fighting off the fastballs and got that hanging slider right there, and bang. They saw that he was fighting off the fastball. They thought they could maybe move him off the plate, and not so.
So the 5th time this year the Braves have gone back-to-back with home runs. Excuse me, that's the 6th time, my mistake, that the Braves have gone back-to-back. As Clump now has hit 81 home runs.
That's the 10th and 11th home runs on this homestand in 8 games.
Alvarez gives ground, drops the ball. And Uggla's safe. And it's falling apart for the Pirates in this 6th inning. E5. The second Pirate error of the game. Armas had one in the 3rd. BJ's walked twice today. One ball, no strikes. More activity in the Pittsburgh pen. Jared Hughes has begun to loosen up. Braves are catching fire. The Pirates having a rough stretch. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They're not scoring. They're starting pitching has had some issues, and I think Mazzaro just balked.
Called by second base umpire John Tumpane. Neil Walker came in to ask the umpire what he did, and all he showed was like a little flinch. There, he raised up, stopped, and then went over.
So a home run to Gatis on an 0-2 count. A 9-pitch at bat for Laird results in a homer. Now an error and a balk has Ugla at second for B.J. Upton. 2 balls and a strike.
You said at the beginning of this series, Chip, that the last thing the Pirates need is a 19-inning game, which has really hurt in the last 2 years. 1 each year. They're not in a 19-inning game this week, but the taxing of their bullpen for all these extra inning games is something that's kind of akin to that.
That's a real good point. The extra inning game against the Reds. Now 10-inning game last night.
2 starters that came out of the game in the first and second inning.
Three balls and a strike. And Upton takes a walk.
Gerald Laird on, what was it, the 9th pitch of the at bat? It was. And a fastball down and in that he just dropped the barrel on. And his first trot in a Braves uniform.
Three 3-0 Atlanta. Clint Hurdle on his way out. He'll take the ball from Vin Mazzaro after an inning and a third. Jared Hughes scheduled to come out of the Pirates' pen as the Braves continue to hit in the 6th. The speed of the ball off the bat of El Oso Blanco.
There's that sound again too. If there was a decibel rating, it would have been about 1,000. Last night the ball speed for B.J. Upton was 101.4 that he hit to center. Boy, oh boy, did he hit the ball hard.
Yes, you want to play Major League third base with that guy in the batter's box?
Freddie doesn't have to duck. I mean, Gatis blocks out the sun when he turns his back.
Everybody's happy when you're winning, and the Braves are doing that again today. 3-0. Julio Teheran with 2 on and 1 out. Looks outside at first pitch from Jared Hughes.
Hughes pitched in game 1 of this series. Gave up a base hit to Reed Johnson, but got everybody else. Low 90s fastball, slider, and an occasional changeup.
Teheran gets the bunt. Throw to third, gonna be in time. How in the world did they force Ugla on that play? Another bang bang play. This one too goes against the Braves.
Big chance here by Garrett Jones, but he's left-handed, so a quick release. Well, I'm not sure about that one. Dan's leg was already bent by the time Alvarez caught it.
And you make a good point. The left-handedness of Jones helped him make that play. One of the best I ever saw do that was a right-hander, Jeff Bagwell, when he was with the Astros.
Keith Hernandez was pretty salty at it too,
Yeah.
boy.
So a big out, the second of the inning. Warner goes back to the top spot, and Andrelton Simmons, who already has 2 hits and a run today. Andrelton will take an 11-game hitting streak into Dodger Stadium tomorrow night against Zach Greinke.
Part of Bagwell's success there was because he'd come within about 10 feet of home plate and dare you to hit the ball at him.
I sure hope he gets a fair shake with the Hall of Fame voters. Era of which he played, fairly or unfairly, I think he's branded with a brush that's undeserved.
Yeah, and Craig Biggio can't get in his first try. I never did understand that one last year.
In the air to center, McCutcheon to his right gets there, and that'll retire the side. Braves go back to back. 6 times this year Atlanta's hit successive homers. Gatis and Laird do the trick for the Braves, and Julio Teheran's lead is now 3-0 going to the 7th. Starting pitching from Julio Teheran as well today. Chance for a Braves sweep. But first, our AT Uverse trivia question. Jason Grilli has 22 saves for the Pirates. Who holds their record for most saves in a season?
Couldn't be Stan Belinda, could it?
Could be. I was thinking Kent Tekulve.
Yeah.
That's too obvious. That's the problem. You know, we go with the first obvious guess, and it's always wrong unless it isn't.
I heard a guy say the other night that about a player that was having some problems. He said it's either physical or mental. I'm not sure.
Well, here's McCutchen. He was left standing in the batter's box when Marte was picked off to end the 6th inning. At that point, it was a 1-0 game. Andrew has struck out and walked. And another first pitch strike. That's out of play. Back our way. It's 0-2.
We've heard Tom Glavine say many times, guy makes a bad pitch, and then Tom will say, yeah, but if it's a real bad pitch, then it turns into a good pitch. And the first one to McCutchen this inning was kind of like that.
Simmons has to unload quickly. Does, and gets McCutchen. 1 out.
You're a BB over there.
There was a story on ESPN, and I'll have to check it again during break, but I believe Andrelton Simmons last month was ESPN's Defensive Player of the Month. And I think we talked about it, or I mentioned it on the homestand. I don't know how they figure runs saved, but Andrelton has saved, I think, 5 runs with his work at shortstop this year.
Well, it was against the Pirates in that day game, last game of that series up there, where he made that play going to his left, where he made the exchange behind
That's
his
exactly
back.
Right. Yeah. A play, ironically, he didn't get an out on.
No.
And I wonder too, this would be, I think, a fascinating question to ask a guy like Tim Hudson. When you know you have a guy like Andrelton Simmons playing behind you defensively, how much easier it is to formulate your game plan as Tim's ground ball guy. He wants contact. A lot of players in baseball or pitchers will say, I don't want him hitting the ball.
Yeah, I'll take my chances with Andrelton.
Right?
Another great off-speed breaking ball, though, from Teheran. He's had Jones tied up today.
That was as late a swing as you can have. And Jones still alive, 1-2.
And about as defensive a swing as you'll see from him.
High fly ball to center. That's going to stay in the park. 2 outs, 7th inning. Another dangerous Pirate is Neil Walker. He has flied to right twice. Strike 1 again.
Took a little off breaking ball. Backdoor pitch. Getting ahead in the count.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Fans are getting in on this.
And Walker hit by a pitch.
Not just Walker, Laird got it too.
That hurts. An 0-2 count.
Got up under Gerald too.
Pedro Alvarez has struck out twice. That hit batsman, by the way, barring a pickoff, guarantees you're going to have to face McCutchen one more time. At the belt, Alvarez a look back. Knight's been hunting strikes today. Julio's thrown a bunch of them. 91 pitches, 66 in the strike zone. Another shot off the mask of Laird, and again 0-2.
Several off-speed breaking balls this inning. They've been very effective.
Swing and a miss. 10 strikeouts for Teheran. 7th inning stretch, a special day in Atlanta. Nothing Atlanta. Here's the Subway in-game box score.
Braves got a run in the first inning. Back-to-back singles started the game by Simmons and Hayward. There was also a hit batsman in there, but the run scored on an infield ground out by Chris Johnson. And it stayed 1-0 until Gatis and Laird went back-to-back with home runs last inning.
So in the Braves 7th, Jason Hayward, Chris Johnson, and Freddie Freeman are coming up. Jared Hughes, the 4th Pirate pitcher. If you're just joining us, Wandy Rodriguez left after facing 4 hitters. Forearm tightness knocked him out of the game. And he allowed a first inning run that Teheran has made stand up. Hayward the other way again.
I don't know if it's just the sound of Jason's bats or if he's going to have to put in a new order. But I really, it sounds like he's broken his bat every time up tonight or this afternoon. Has 2 hits. And he's putting that one back in the bat rack, so apparently it's okay. They're playing him to pull, pitching him away, and he does a nice job of beating it.
3 straight games with 2 hits for Hayward. Chris Johnson bats, and he goes the other way. Back-to-back singles for Atlanta in the 7th. And Johnson will be taken down for a pinch runner. Ramiro Pena will stand in at first base. Day for Chris. He reached base 3 times with an RBI. He was 1 for 4 on the day. So Pena will trail Hayward on the base paths. Freddie Freeman is 0 for 2. He was hit by a first inning pitch. Jones at first. Fires to second for 1. The return to first gets away from Hughes. Hayward will come home and score to make it 4-0.
See who they give the error to. Probably the pitcher. It looked like a decent return from second base. It was not a bad throw. It was low, but not in the dirt. Didn't appear to be in the dirt.
No RBI on the play.
He's an E1.
So Hayward scores for the first time today. The Pirates defense 3 errors today. Pittsburgh have made 36 errors all year coming into play today. Here's Gatis. An 0-2 pitch hit for a home run back in the 6th. Hughes' spot is due third when the Pirates come up in the 8th inning. So you know Clint Hurdle wants him to get through this frame. But he's suddenly behind Gatis 3-0. Base on balls for Gatis. First walk for Hughes, first and second for Atlanta. 1 in, 1 out.
Time for Georgia Power Energy tip number 6. Bobby Cox, number 6. You can save up to $300 annually by switching from a gas furnace to an energy efficient electric heat pump. If you make the switch before August 31st, you may qualify for up to a $400 rebate.
As Gerald Laird digs in, the Braves have another pinch runner. Jordan Schaefer is at first base for Gatis. So Freeman at second, Schaefer now at first. And Laird followed Gatis' homer in the 6th. His first as a Brave. Laird gets plunked. That one grazed him on the way by. And now they're loaded for Uggla. And Ed Mangum may have to bill the Pirates for a resod between the mound and their dugout after this 3-game series. He's made a ton of visits. And again, with the Pirates bullpen in the condition that it is, right now Pittsburgh just has to wear it with Hughes and see if he can somehow escape the 7th, allowing only 1 run. Freeman, Schaefer, and Laird, the trio of Braves aboard. Dan Uggla is 0 for 2. Reached on an Alvarez error last time up.
Hit the ball sharply.
No swing, 1 ball, no strikes.
Nobody throwing in the Pirates' pen. Already down 4-0. They're trying to save some arms and energy.
Shallow center. McCutchen playing deeply. Comes charging in. Still coming. Sliding try. Dropped the ball. The throw into second is going to be in time. And that's going to force Gerald Laird.
Unfortunately for Dan, it won't go as a hit because of the force out. And their outfielders playing very deep with the bases loaded. Oh, he had it in his glove. It just bounced out after he hit the ground. Dan will get an RBI. But when Laird saw him catch the ball, I'm sure he froze at first. Got a late start.
That scored 8-6 on Laird, but give Uggla his 21st RBI. Freeman comes home. Braves with 2 in the 6th, now 2 in the 7th, lead 5-0 for B.J. Upton. How about Upton's day? 3 walks. One of those walks was intentional. Maybe starting to see the ball better. He's hit it sharply in this series. He has a couple of homers on the homestand. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Home run he hit last night was a fastball and down and had the inner third of the plate. They keep trying to tie him up inside. If they drop one of those fastballs down and in again, he might lose it again.
And Upton is down on strikes. Atlanta adds 2 in the 7th. We head to the 8th. 7-8-9 up for the Pirates and Julio Teheran. the line in Game 3 against the Pirates today. And friends, the internship opens this Friday. In today's post game, our intern Ross Bailey gets a crash course in production. So you'll want to stick around for that, as well as our Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard.
Braves since May 17th, 14-4, averaging 1.1 base runner per inning. That's the best in the National League. Tons of homers and runs scored, but the line of the day belongs to Julio Teheran, who goes out to work the 8th against the bottom third of their order. And as you look at this line, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. The last no-hitter thrown by a Braves pitcher was Kent Mercker in Los Angeles, I believe 1992.
If you wonder, too, as Braves make a couple of defensive changes, Jordan Schaefer's in left. Ramiro Pena takes over at third base.
94, I'm told.
94?
Mm-hmm.
Pitch count. Teheran's high is 123. He's at 93 now. So Russell Martin to work first for Pittsburgh. And that is what Julio Teheran, Joe, has done all day long today. And that's a huge stat for this kid.
Yeah, first pitch strikes. He's had a ton of them. He's had an awfully live fastball, but he's mixed his speeds beautifully today. He's had a couple of different speeds on his breaking ball and a good changeup to lefties.
Pittsburgh's had 4 base runners today, 2 walks and 2 hit batsmen. One hopper to Simmons. 1 away in the 8th. Clint Parmas is the shortstop. He has struck out and popped out.
Julio set his career strikeout high his last time out against Washington with 9, and he has 10 today through 7 innings. That 9 strikeout performance was in 6 2/3.
You mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Julio Teheran, opponent's batting average 238 when he gets ahead in the count. Opponent's hitting 364 when he throws ball 1. First pitch strikes laser today for Teheran. 21 of 26. Two outs.
Listen to this crowd.
Brandon Inge hits for Hughes. Another strike to Inge.
He's a good fastball hitter, and they started him coming off the bench with a slider for a strike.
Gerald Laird ought to know Inge, both former Tigers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive left field, base hit for Inge. And listen to Turner Field as they rise for Julio Teheran. 7 2/3 hitless innings until Inge singled in a pinch. Teheran with 11 strikeouts.
And Inge did what he does best. Fastball, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and turned on it.
Strike one to Starling Marte. Another theme for the Braves on this homestand has been their starting pitching. Another quality start, this time by Teheran. Braves starters with an ERA under 2.5 on this homestand. Ton of strikeouts, hardly any walks at all.
Yeah, they've been absolutely phenomenal. 105 pitches here for Julio now. He's due up first in the bottom of the 8th. Guerin and Avilan are both throwing in the bullpen.
So you figure this will be his last inning now that the history's out of the way.
Yeah, just let him finish up on a good note here.
But obviously with only one hit allowed, he was never in trouble.
No. 4th inning, there was a walk that factored in there. I think that was his highest pitch count on any inning.
The 2-2 for Marte. Little broken bat out towards short. Simmons is there. Julio Teheran, a one-hitter through 8, and listen to Atlanta. First Brave to take a no-hitter into the 8th inning since September 7th, 2007, when John Smoltz turned the trick against the Washington Nationals.
And it wasn't one of the guys that started the game. It was the pinch hitter, Brandon Inge, who broke it up. Great outing, 11 strikeouts, completely dominated the Pirates today. Struck out 3 of the first 4 batters he faced in the ball game. and kind of sent a message then that he had it working.
So Mike Zagurski will take over for the Pirates. Reed Johnson grabs a bat and hits for Teheran. On April 29th, Julio started a game against the Nationals. His ERA on that day was 5.48. It's June the 5th. And at the moment, Julio Teheran's earned run average is 3.30. Down 0.4 of a run today.
He has really figured some things out from the beginning of the season to now.
And line to short. Nice play by Barmes. That was slick.
Dang, that was hit hard.
And not only was the 11 strikeouts for Teheran a career high, that's a staff high for the Braves in any game pitched this year by a single man. A great day all around. As Julio Teheran in line for his 4th victory of the season. Reed Johnson retired. Here's Simmons. Andrelton has a couple of hits and a run.
Avilan and Guerin have taken a seat. David Carpenter is throwing now in the Braves pen.
One ball, one strike.
Another good turnout on a midweek day game too. That's something nice. They had a big crowd for the Twins when that last happened on the last homestand, and 28,703 today.
Hey, maybe the Cubs were onto something with this day baseball thing, huh?
Yeah.
Well, they've seen a great one from Julio Teheran and the Braves offense. 5 runs, 7 hits. Pittsburgh 1 hit, 3 errors. As Simmons swings and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Zagurski also pitched here in game 1, 2/3 of an inning, a hit and 3 walks, but only 1 run scored.
Late swing and a miss by Simmons. And 2 are out in the Braves' 8th. Two more hits for Jason Hayward today. He scored a run as well. Hopefully a sign of good things to come for Hayward on the road trip. 6 hits in the last 3 games. Braves won 7-2 in the opener, won 5-4 in extras last night, and are winning 5-0 today as McCutchen gallops in and makes the play, and that retires the side. The Braves pitching, though, has been better than the Pirates, and the Atlanta club needs 3 outs to sweep them out of town. And the Pittsburgh Pirates. First, let's answer our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Jason Grilli has 22 saves this year. Who holds the Pirates record for most saves in a season?
I got to go with Colby.
You're going to go to Colby? I'll go with Belinda. We'll switch roles here and see if either one of us is right.
Not only did I not have him on my radar, I don't think there is a radar that exists that has him on there.
I don't even remember Mike Williams. But the Pirates fans do. And she's a little tuckered out after Julio Teheran had a career day today. David Carpenter will come on and answer the AT&T call to the bullpen.
He did a great job after Medlin was hit with that line drive early in his homestand. In fact, it was the first game of the homestand. And he came in and worked 3 one-hit shutout innings. He walked 4 guys and struck out a batter, but basically held the Blue Jays close. Atlanta just wasn't able to muster anything, though, in that ball game, and wasn't able to come back. Got beat 3-0.
Speaking of offers, realize we were 0 for trivia on the homestand.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, I hate to say this, but I've really been concentrating on the game.
Oh. Okay. Well, going to LA.
Okay.
Stadium.
Got a long plane ride.
Yep.
Do a little more studying.
Yep. Former Dodger. Counting on you.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's
count too high.
Well, worst part is, as Travis Snyder leads off, you know, Gretchen sits right behind us on the plane. She's going to be like that 7-year-old that kicks your seat for a 4-hour flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Joe, Chip, how many trivia questions did you get right on the homestand? She said, I got 7 right. How many did you guys get right? None. But hopefully better luck in trivia for us tomorrow night.
I know we took an offer, but I feel like we hit the ball hard right at people at times.
We actually guessed players who played for the team.
Mm-hmm.
That should count for something. But Mike Williams, I think, just, how about you? Put me in a foul mood now. How many games did the Pirates win in 2002?
If he saved 43 of them, I'll bet it wasn't many.
Travis Snyder, a ball and 2 strikes. The Pirates could use a day off. They'll get one in Chicago tomorrow. We understand that 0-2 Pirates team won 70. How many? 72. Ooh. Out to second. And Snyder is the first out in the top of the 9th inning. Fans say 40% off field view seats as the Braves battle the Giants beginning Friday, June 14th. That's today's steal of the week. This offers today only and is good for all 3 games of that Braves-Giants series. Take advantage of these big savings at braves.com/steal right now. Giants 2 games behind Arizona in the West. Colorado 2.5 games back and in 3rd place.
See Brandon Beachy there on the bench. When does he go back out there?
Didn't he pitch Monday?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think he pitched Monday. Went 80 pitches over 5 innings. think Tom can clarify it for us. I don't think he's going to pitch with Gwinnett or Rome. Is that right, Tom?
Close. He's going to go ahead and pitch with Gwinnett on Saturday, and then it seems everybody's on the road. So his next start following that, he'll be on the road with the AA club in Knoxville against a Southern League affiliate just outside of Knoxville and Sevierville. So he's got Gwinnett Saturday, and then it should be at Tennessee on Thursday.
That was the start. Yeah. One of them I knew was because of travel. And if all goes well, we're hearing one of those doubleheader games against the Mets will be when Beachy will make his season debut for the Braves.
Another ding on Gerald Laird there. That 2002 season when Williams won those or saved those 43 games and the Pirates won 72 of them. Braves were 101-59. Won the division by 19 games over the Expos.
McCutchen fouls it back and stays alive here in the ninth inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves beat A.J. Burnett. They beat Mark Melanson last night. They're going to beat Wandy Rodriguez today as McCutchen is down swinging. Second time McCutchen struck out in the game today.
Took a little off. Had him out front. All around good pitching by the Braves in this series. And really had to be because the Braves were 2 for 29 with runners in scoring position, which is pretty amazing that they are on the verge of a sweep.
Little roller off the bat of Garrett Jones. Carpenter can't get it before it trickles foul. Strike 1. The other thing that's pretty remarkable too, in 3 games the Pirates had only 15 at bats with a runner in scoring position and had just 3 hits. None today, obviously, with Teheran allowing just 1 single to Clint Hurdle's club. And offense has been a big problem for the Pirates. Averaging just over 2 runs a game in the last 5 played. And we're staring down the barrel of the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and Samardzija and company lying in wait starting Friday. .96-mile-an-hour fastball.
One last note on Julio. The fact that he was the Braves' #1 prospect, one of the top prospects in all of baseball for 2 or 3 years. Had a down year last year, but he showed you today what all that projection was about. Down to the strike zone with all his pitches. Gerald Laird did a great job calling breaking balls early in the count. First pitch breaking balls for strikes.
Did he go? No, he didn't go. 2-2. Down the left field line, foul.
Jones is trying to salvage 1 hit in the series. He's 0 for Atlanta. 0 for 8 overall. Missed 1 game when Mike Minor started last night.
it's your ball game. What a day for Julio Teheran. The Braves right-hander fires a one-hitter over 8 innings with 11 strikeouts. Laird and Gatis each hit homers, and the Braves indeed swab the deck. They sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates and finish them off 5-0 today.